For a long, long time, the world pretty much saw Japan as this quiet, stable giant. But, something radical is happening right now. A totally new grand strategy is being rolled out, and it's designed to completely re-engineer the nation's role in the world. And believe me, investors are sitting up and paying very close attention. So let's break down what this is all about.
The era of strategic ambiguity is over. Those are the words of Takaichi, one of the key architects of this new security strategy. And let me tell you, this is not just some political soundbite, it's a full-on declaration. It signals a definitive break from the past, a new, way more assertive, you could even say hawkish Japan is stepping onto the world stage. I mean, she's so aggressive about this, she once quoted the anime Attack on Titan, telling her party, "Invest everything in me."
And this gets us to the absolute heart of our explainer. For years, investors slapped what they called a Japan discount on Japanese stocks, basically punishing them for what they saw as stagnation. But is that all about to flip? Are we about to see a security premium, where companies that line up with Japan's new security goals get actively supported and even rewarded by the state?
So, how exactly is Japan planning to earn this new premium? Well, at the very core of this whole transformation is a new doctrine. It's a huge shift, moving away from just being a passive, stable piece of the puzzle to becoming something far more critical, a choke point guardian. They're calling it active indispensability, and it is a very deliberate national strategy. The whole goal is to find and then totally dominate technologies that are so fundamental, so critical to the global economy that Japan becomes, well, indispensable. It's not about being the biggest player on the field, it's about being the one you absolutely cannot play the game without.
And this is not just some idea on a whiteboard, they are putting serious money behind it. The government has greenlit a massive 21.3 trillion yen. That's about 140 billion US dollars in new spending. And this cash is being laser-focused on the exact sectors that will build this new, indispensable Japan.
Let's just make sure we really get this metaphor, because it's key. Being a choke point guardian means that if the world wants to build the most advanced AI or the next generation of military hardware, the road to getting it done runs directly through Japan. They want to be the ones holding the keys to the most important gates.
Okay, so let's look at the first and maybe the most powerful example of how this is all working in the real world: semiconductors. Japan is making a massive play to become the gatekeeper for the entire AI revolution. Now, what's so fascinating about this is that it shows Japan's hidden power, right? We hear all about chip designers in the US or the huge fabs in Taiwan, but look at this. This table shows the stuff that happens behind the scenes. The specialized chemicals, the perfect silicon wafers, the insane inspection tools. These are areas where Japanese companies have near monopolies. You literally cannot make a cutting-edge chip without them.
And this lays out their playbook. It's a crystal clear three-step plan. First, the government is just pumping money into massive projects, like the new Rapidus factory. They're taking away the financial risk. Second, they're using policy to lock in the dominance of those companies we just saw. And the endgame? Total control over an absolutely vital part of the global tech supply chain.
Now, sovereign silicon is just pillar number one. The second one is, if you can believe it, just as radical. With its new cybersecurity plan, Japan is basically creating a brand new multi-billion-dollar market out of thin air. For investors, this is what you call a true 0-to-1 moment.
I mean, just look at the difference here. It is night and day. For decades, Japanese law was all about passive defense. You build a digital firewall and you hope for the best. This new active cyber defense framework, it flips the entire script. It legally authorizes and, in some cases, mandates preemptive action. We're talking about hacking back, neutralizing threats before they even hit.
So the really crucial point to get is, this new law is an engine for creating a market. It's designed from the ground up to build a domestic cyber-industrial complex. It creates a guaranteed, government-funded pipeline of demand for Japanese companies who can build and use these new offensive cyber tools.
And if you're wondering who stands to benefit, well, here are the prime suspects. You've got the huge established players like NEC and Fujitsu who are going to build the core infrastructure. But you've also got these really specialized companies like FFRI Security. People are already calling them the Palantir of Japan, who are perfectly positioned to scoop up these huge, long-term government contracts.
So this all brings us right back to our big investment thesis. We've seen the strategy, we've seen the absolutely enormous financial firepower behind it,
But is this a once-in-a-generation investment opportunity, or is it a really high-stakes geopolitical gamble?
So what does this high-stakes game actually look like for an investor? Well, this analysis pretty much maps out 3 possible futures. The most likely scenario, the base case, is that the strategy mostly works and Japanese markets do better than the S&P 500. But the other possibilities, a golden era boom or a geopolitical shock that causes a crash, they are very, very real. The risks here are absolutely as big as the potential rewards.
And you have to remember, this whole thing is a comprehensive vision. We've gone deep on silicon and cyber, but the Takaichi Doctrine is really built on 6 pillars. It's a total re-engineering of the economy around national security. It touches everything from a defense renaissance, think companies like Mitsubishi Heavy, to orbital industrialization to dominate space. This isn't just a few small changes, it's a complete root and branch transformation.
So in the end, it all really boils down to this one question. Japan is making an all-in bet that by controlling the critical choke points of the 21st century economy, it can lock in its security and its prosperity for generations. The question this strategy asks the rest of us is, will we have any choice but to buy in?